My name is Robert McLaughlin. Date of birth is the 8th of the 10th, 1930.
Yep, you're recording.
Yeah. And from there I went to back to Echuca because there was a fair few of us living in Richmond. I only lived there for about a year and a half, then Mum disappeared. So I had to go living with my eldest sister in Echuca. She was married. And I went to the state school there and then went to Tech College after it.
Yep.
And when I was just turning 14, I had a sister getting married in Melbourne. And I was asked, you want to go down to the wedding? I said, yeah, if I go down to the wedding, I'm not coming back. Because them days at 14 you could leave school.
Yep.
So that was that. I went to live with my sister in Richmond again, but this time up the top end of Richmond. And you remember a few things about her and this, that and the other. She had she was working as a waitress in one of the top cafes in Richmond,
Wow.
in Bridge Road.
Yep.
And there was a TV star come in, well, no, I don't think it was TV. No, he wasn't on TV. He was on the radio. And he said that he made a bet with his co-partner or co-bloke that he could con a meal from anybody in any cafe. And Canis's Cafe was a pretty big one in Richmond at the time. So he walked in there. Bob Dye was a bloke.
Oh, yeah.
And he walked in with an overcoat and this, that and the other. And Mary was doing the waitressing and that. And she said, what do you want, love? He said, I'm hungry but I can't afford anything. He said, oh, she said, hang on, I'll get you some soup. So she got him some soup and he wheeled on and on about it. So she said, well, I've got a bit more stuff. Give it to me. So he took her into the mate out, told her who he was and this, that and the other. So he chuffed her into, I don't know, it was 3DB or one of those stations, and give him a holiday up at the Gold Coast at the time, yeah. Which wasn't too bad for her because the eldest sister had shifted up there in the early days. It was, they call it then Surfers Paradise, I suppose, yeah. So when she got there, her and her daughter, they had to do everything they asked, and it was winter time, mind you. Now you down the beach and take pictures of it and that. She wasn't really wrapped in it. But that I remember that quite plain. And then the other thing I remember quite plain was my first job was selling papers.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon me. Corner of Bridge Road and Church Street, which wasn't a bad spot really.
Yeah.
Selling me papers there. And of a Friday I used to go up to the MCG, take a heap of papers, which was the truth, mainly, because you wouldn't even know this, I suppose. And I used to sell the truth to the Americans, because it's 1944, and they were incarcerated in the MCG. That was their jail for the blokes who were absent without leave and all this and the other. And I think it was about sixpence, I think, was the truth. And they used to drop down 2 bob, clip on the paper, send it up, because what they wanted was page 3. Page 3 and the truth had boobs showing, that's it, nothing else. You know. Everything else didn't matter a damn. So I remember that quite plainly. Then I worked in the post office, delivering telegrams.
Yeah.
Now I'm showing my age here because telegrams come by Morse code. And while I was working for them, the teleprinter come in. And used to print it out in a long, thin line. They used to cut it off and make the sentences and all that. I remember that quite plainly. And we used to have some rather good fun in the post office. One bloke who was in, I can't say his name, he's dead now, but he turned out to be a bit of a gangster. He used to carry a little pistol with him. He was a funny bloke. But, he had to go and pick up the tins out of the, the phone booths. It was twopence a phone and 2 pennies. And when the thing was full, the pennies would overflow. So he'd take all the pennies himself. He was a funny bloke. And I used to go and visit him. He had no father, he had a mother. She was beautiful, a lovely woman. But the main reason I wanted to go and visit him was because two things. One, he was a pug boxer. I used to go training with him.
Yeah.
And the bloke next door was a motorbike racer. And he had a, still remember, 250 OK Supreme. You wouldn't even know what that was, would you?
No.
And he used to run it up and down. What's the bloody name of the street? Edel. Can't even know, but Offbridge Road anyway. And then the people would ring the police, tell them to come down because them days motorbike racing was all open exhaust and megaphones, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Geez, I used to make a racket. And then the police would come down and wouldn't know who this bloke was racing the motorbike. Nobody knew, of course, it was fair enough. Which I remember that later years. So, from there, where did I go from there? Oh, my sister was down there. Her husband, she had 3 husbands in Longrush. He worked out at Footscray. And he was a ballet dancer in his early days. He come from South Oz. And he had trained with, what's his name, Robert Helpman, the top bloke in ballet in Australia, Sir Robert Helpman. He trained with him, he didn't do with him. And he worked out at Footscray, South Kensington actually. So we used to sometimes go out there in the train and we'd thumb our rides home. And the place there was, these things stick in your mind. The place there was making, at the time, chloral hydrate, which is knockout drops, ether, and we're all going for Runra, which was United Nations. And with the knockout drops, I reckon that, which is chloral hydrate, used to be in 2.5 ounce jars, the Japs had the workers on drugs and all that to make them keep working.
Yep.
And they'd knock them out for 24 hours. When they come to, they'd knock them out again.
Yep.
And that was the way in them days, I reckon they took them off the drugs. So that was a good job. And as I said, we used to go out there in the train and sometimes we'd thumb our way home. And we used to get a lift. Geez, you never forget these things. And they were Jews in a beautiful, beautiful Packard 75, I think it was called. And you go along Swamp Road, them days no speed limit, Swamp Road, go like a rocket through there. It was a beautiful car, polished to the nines.
Yeah.
And of course we were in dirty old clothes. And they used to drop us off in Bridge Road because Brasisto Street where we used to live down the far end. And then the bloke who was the chemist at this place, IPS, Industrial Packaging Service, never forget that. And he had, which I've read about them, and that was I had seen his story, because he used to make his own fuel for this 16-cylinder Stutz, and great big rocket it was.
Yeah.
Wire all through the windscreen that if you took notice, you could see it.
Yeah.
But in the windows and that, you see it quite plain because it's supposed to be a crash-proof car. But he only ran it on 8 cylinders. Geez, it was a massive engine, that. Never forget that. So, then other times, because I had worked in the post office that long, I had my own push bike. And I don't know whether this is... Billy Cole used to live, he was a mate of mine, and Billy Cole was a jockey. So I used to go out with him to Caulfield sometimes, 4 o'clock in the bloody morning on a push bike, mind you. Oh, God. Ride a couple of horses for Peter Michelli, I'll never forget him. And the jockeys would be hanging around Peter Michelli's place because he had a daughter, Olga, and she was gorgeous. But as Billy said, not worth a knob for you and me. And then we used to go and ride his, sometimes it was Sunday, we'd go to Castlemaine, ride push bike. Because he had a grandfather there that used to ride over the stone jumps.
Wow.
Yeah, he had pictures all through his place. And then so sometimes I'd ride the bike out to South Kensington. Yeah, as I say, things are totally different nowadays.
Yeah.
So I used to go down Flinders Street Extension out past the docks onto Swamp Road.
Yep.
I don't know what they call all these things now. And Flinders Street Extension, which is the docks nowadays,
Yep.
was all cobblestones. And
It's a rough ride.
yeah, it was, but the thing with it was everybody else had to go slow.
Yep.
So these mornings he'd get to be a milk truck. I don't know what sort of car or car it was, truck. So he'd be going slow over the cobblestones. So right, he'd grab hold of the back. Away you'd go down Swamp Road and the wheels would be singing. And not even a thought of bearings or anything like that them days, or you know, what do you call it, your wheels perfectly balanced or anything like that, nothing like that. And zoom, and he'd go over the Maribyrnong River Bridge and then he'd go to Footscray, so I'd just let go and go out to South Kensington, which was only about another 200 or 300 yards to the place.
Yep.
And I wouldn't have to push, but I had to push the bloody thing all the way home. Never forgot that. Oh shit, they were bloody good days. Yeah. So then that joint collapsed, and I went up fruit picking. Actually, went up to Jura. By then I'd be I think I'd be 17. We were going on for 17. Went fruit picking, and my old man was a shearer, and of course, early in when I was young and that, he used to grab me and take me up the bush to certain places where he was shearing, stay the night and then bring me home again then. And there was a shearer up there and he was only doing the fruit picking before he gets a job on the sheds.
Yep.
So I thought, well, he said I can get a job on the sheds. Okay.
There we go. Rightio, now to remember where we're at. Just gone up to Mildura.
Yeah, and then we went, stayed at his grandfather's place in Robinvale. Ploughed an acre of land or half an acre of land for him because, don't forget, I'd been up with my old man to different farms and this, that and the other. I learned a lot in my day.
Yeah.
And one of the places where that doesn't matter. I knew how to ride horses and drive horses and all. So he reckoned that he wanted half an acre of land ploughed, single furrow plough, and a couple of horses. There's no problem, let's have a go at it. So we'd done that. Then we went up on the Gan. Now this is the old Gan.
Yeah.
Where we went, there's no more rail track there, it's all been pulled up.
Yep.
And oh geez, it's showing me a bloody age, isn't it? So we went through a place that had a couple of tents and had a little sign up, Lee Creek.
Yeah.
And we get up to a place called Lyndhurst. And that's as far as we got off then. But the Gan wasn't what you think of getting in and sitting with that.
Yep.
It was one that way and one that way.
Yeah.
And it used to stop because at the time that we went, it was a time for one of the vans that they had was full of ice and he used to sell fish and all that.
Yeah.
Different places. And there'd be a horse and cart there. And it'd stop and they'd get all their stuff to go out to the outlying places. So we went out to what's called Mount Lyndhurst. We had to go by truck. And it was a fair way out. I know it took 2 or 3 hours to get there. And we were going to, after that, go get a run of different sheds.
Yep.
But it rained one weekend and of course wet sheep, shearers can't shear wet sheep, so that buggered that. So we had to come home. But the next place that we were going to go to, what the heck was the name of that joint? Yeah, that buggered me. I can't think of the name of it. But in later years, Dame Tiri Tukahawa, she done a concert out there.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of bloody nowhere, in the middle of Australia, you know. And I thought, well, you know, we missed a run and that was it. So come back to Richmond. And I thought, well, what am I going to do here? And I had a sister who was a bit of a villain, and she was a character, she was, Lorraine. Used to do a lot of different things with her and the other sister, Mary. Like we used to go to the wrestling.
Yep.
and a Wednesday the wrestling was on, and the women would get in for half price if they had a gentleman with them.
Yep.
So I was the gentleman. I had to go with them. Oh, gee, that was funny. And through that, I had learnt a bit when I was in the post. I was different pugs and all that, different blokes were fighters. Leo Berry was one of them. Early Leo Berry, he's a different one now. And a couple of others. And his sister was going with a bloke called Tommy Bayless. And Tommy was a heavyweight, and he was a ladies' man. And he used to be walking down to get into the ring, and the women would be tearing at him. And he always wore 2 pair of underpants and that, because they'd just tear him off him. And he couldn't fight for shit, you know. Oh, geez, that was funny, you know. So, me and Kevin. Anyway, he was a friend of mine at the time. And we used to go and get jobs. And them days you could get 1,000,000 jobs, different ones. Yeah. We'd spend 2 or 3 days in the job, and he'd say, I don't like this. And okay, we'll knock off. Well, I don't like it, we'll leave. So we pooled our resources, not much money. We bought ourselves a little 125 Royal Enfield 2-stroke thing. Yep. Couldn't get petrol because it was coupons, it was ration them days, you know, so Jesus. But down in Bridge Road was a service station, Dutton's. And Dutton was a speed car driver at the Speedway. We used to go Speedway into any time you could go anywhere was there. Didn't cost much them days.
Yep.
Zach to get in, not even that sometimes. And you get a gallon of petrol for a bob, which was a lot of bloody money. And under the counter sort of thing.
Yep.
Put it in a little Royal Enfield. Push it home. Then we got up the Bridge Road to the grocer's shop. We used to get a bottle of oil, olive oil and that. Mix it in, because it was 2-stroke. We used to ride that. And that particular time, Doreen was going with a bloke who was a copper. Fairly well-known copper, because his brother was fairly well-known, Jack Dyer. You know Jack Dyer? Yeah.
I know the name.
Footballer, yeah. And the bucket pinched me on the motorbike. And he knew damn well for months that we had this bloody motorbike down the backyard.
Yeah.
Mainly ride late evening and that when there wasn't too many coppers around him. And he pinched me. It cost me £4. I'll never forget that. So we had to get rid of the bike. And so bikes were fairly even because, you know, in my mind, because I used to get the Speedway and that. And that particular time I was getting a few tattoos too. And I had been working, as I said, in IPS, and they made ether. Get the odd tattoo, I used to get a bottle of ether. Get a tattoo, because he was a Speedway rider.
Yep.
A tattoo artist. Mix it with his... they didn't run on petrol, they used to run on some other bloody thing. And mix this ether with it. That's what you used to smell, I reckon. I used to always reckon it was only the castor oil you could smell, but they reckon it was ether. Anyway, got round that, and I got a job then. I went and got my licence, that's right. Come to think of it, I still had the Royal Enfield then, because I went for a ride to hone the skill, so to speak. I went down Church Street, and things that stick in your memory. Down in Church Street was a yard where people by the name of Jazz Tweedy, they were delivery merchants, horse and cart.
Yep.
And Jazz Tweedy and a bloody horse and cart was coming out, so I whipped round the side. It was a little bit wet, and tram lines. Motorbikes don't like wet tram lines.
No.
Pew, down I went. Picked myself up, got a hole in the bloody arse of my pants. Another one in me. Anyway, I thought, oh well, still go up. I went up. You done your ride through Melbourne a bit. Up Burke Street, he tells you to stop at a certain spot. Then you got to take off. If you roll back, you don't get your licence. He follows you on a Harley Davidson them days. Yeah. So anyway, done all that. Fill out the forms and everything and go in. You're not getting a licence. Oh, why not? Because I still remember his name. Duncan was the Chief Commissioner of Police. Because you got a thing against your name for riding without a licence. Oh, of course. So that was that. A fortnight later they informed me that I'd get my licence. So I think it cost me $5 for my licence, that's all. I said, now, I can ride the little Royal Enfield, no problems whatsoever now. Might as well get a job in a motorbike. So I got a job in Cottonlands in Elizabeth Street. And they sold Triumphs, Velisets, AJS, Harley Davidson Indian. I think they had something else that was in. Oh no, I think that might have been a new Imperial, sort of a, I don't know what sort of a bike, auto bike, that's right. And I used to have to take the bikes up to the registry office to register them for them.
Yep.
And they brought out this Royal Enfield, an LE Veloset, which was water-cooled, shaft drive, car-type gears, and you had to bring it through neutral each time you changed gears.
Yeah.
Terrific little bike, and it was like you could sit on and he's damn up and down. And when you get up there to register, the bloody copper wanted to go for a ride. And they used to ride over the gutter.
Yep.
Boom, boom, and bring it back. Oh, fair enough, okay. So that was all right, done that. They sold the big Indian, I couldn't ride, that was too big. Apart from that, it had a bad head race, the head wouldn't steer properly. Harley Davidson and sidecar had a box on it.
Yeah.
And the box would be about that size. Used to, of course, the bikes all come from England. They'd have batteries in them, so you take the batteries off, because there weren't no acid and that in them. So you take them out to Lucas in South Melbourne. I'll never forgot this, because I got banned from there, barred, because there was a bloke that worked there and he was a speedway rider, sidecars, and he says, when you said you're going to have a bit of trouble with this Harley Davidson. He says, it probably won't start when you get to Lucas. So he says, don't turn the ignition on, give it a couple of kicks, then turn the ignition on. All right, take all these batteries out, fill it up with the ones that were coming back with fully charged, give it a couple of kicks, turn it on, and bang! Backfire. You're in an enclosed factory. It made a hell of a racket. So by the time I got back to Cottonlands, they rang up and they banned me from coming in there again. Oh, Jesus, they were characters. But these Duttons, he used to run up and down Hyatt Street. He used to cross over Church Street, which had 2 lines of trams.
Yep.
He used to go in his speedway. No brakes and speed cars, just flat strap. Oh, Jesus. So they had it all in the papers and that, in the mainly in the Truth these years things used to come out. So Dutton had a rocket propelled. So go to the speedway. Me and Kevin went to the speedway. We got free tickets from Dutton's.
Yeah.
No problem whatsoever, them days. He's got these rockets strapped on the back of this bloody thing. So the bloke on the announcement, he's going round and round and round, and he's fired everybody up by this. He says, now he's going to turn these rockets on and look how fast he'll go. And he come round the bloody bend. Speedway's only a quarter of a mile.
Yeah.
440 yards. Come round, he turned them on and straight into the fence down the other end. Because rockets don't turn. Rockets go straight. Jeez, it was funny. He used to rub his nut and have it every time I saw him when we used to go down there. Then he wouldn't sell us any petrol. Oh, that was funny. So anyway, after getting out of Cottonlands, I spent, 6 months there, I think. And the old man wanted me to go up to this place where he was shearing. So I went up there with him and I said, I might as well stay here, get a job on the farm with these people, because I'd been going up there ever since I was a billy lad.
Yep.
I remembered sitting on the plough with these people's grandfather, and he had 8 horses pulling the plough. And then his son was one of the few in the Mallee that got a tractor, Fordson tractor.
Yep.
No rubber tyres, had those big things on it. So I spent a year there, I suppose. A bit over a year. I was 18, and then in 1949, this other bloke was working for him, and he conned me into going with him over to Western Australia. So we went over to Western Australia, drove this 1922 model Dodge over there. We prospected over there and got a bit of gold and a bit of this and a bit of that. Worked in a mine in Norseman. Bought a motorbike, rode it back in 1952, early 52, because I remember in South Australia, because we never had wirelesses or anything like that. Still in the Dodge and the trailer behind. Still nowhere we can get petrol between Norseman and where was it? Seduna.
Yep.
And we propped Boiler Billy in this place. 5 blokes come along. Jesus, they were putting out our fires. What's wrong with you? Didn't know about the fire danger. Didn't know a thing about that, you know. Oh, Jesus, that was funny. But went back to working there. So in the finish, I was getting I bought a couple of motorbikes to race, a couple of scramble bikes they were. I used to race these motorbikes then. And had a few crashes. Left there and come down to Bendigo. The place where it was a place called Birrawillick. Don't know whether you know it.
Oh.
You probably know someone who comes from there. Or, yeah. It's the 24th today, isn't it?
Yep.
Yesterday he was out at the, whatchamacallit, bloke by the name of Darren Weir.
No, I don't even know that.
Top racehorse trainer in Australia.
Sorry, yes. Should know that name.
Yeah. I knew his father, I knew his grandfather, because when I left he wasn't even born. And in the motorbikes, I had some experiences with them. One of the best ones was, there was a last road race meeting at Fisherman's Bend, racing cars and motorbikes. So I'd conned my racing bike up, the scramble bike up, because it was pretty quick. And I tuned it up and tuned it up. I went for a ride. I used to practice around the town. I used to go crooked. I used to call it coppers. The nearest copper was Calgo, which was 15 mile away.
Yep.
So I come round, hurtled past the tennis courts, and the Woomerang copper was there playing tennis. Jumped in his FX Holden and took off after me. I didn't even know he was there, of course. I just absolutely flat strapped down the highway. I suppose I went down a mile, come down the back roads, and I was told afterwards that the Woomerang copper come back. He said, don't know who he was or where he was going, but he was going fairly quick. He said, I couldn't catch him. And he asked all the tennis players who I'd never heard of him. I wouldn't have a clue who he was. Everybody knew who I was. So I raced it down there. It was the last meeting they had on Fisherman's Bend. Oh, geez, it was a good meet. Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Geez, the cars were good them days. Oh, everything's open exhaust, don't forget. And I had two of the best riders in Australia behind me. 10 seconds. They didn't catch me, but then again, I blew up after 4 laps. But they were good days on the motorbikes. Yeah, real good days. So then I had to give away the bikes. I had a little midget racing car, the TQ they called it. That was good. Won a few meetings here, there and everywhere. And had to give that away in a finish. So, because I had horses, been in horses all my life, and this blooming bloke that I used to go up the river fishing with, and he had a horse. He said, you ought to get one. I said, oh yeah, big. So he conned this bloody trainer and he got me a horse. Them days you buy a horse for $400.
Yeah.
And you get a trainer's licence, which costs you nothing, except for the year subscription. I think was only $3 or $4, something like that.
Yep.
And you could train a horse for, providing you'd done most of the work yourself, for $25.
Yep.
Feed and all that. It was easy them days. Totally different nowadays. Of course, it costs a fortune. So we had a few horses. Eventually we got one that won a couple of races, or 3 races. We tried to breed. Breed's the thing you want to stay out of because it costs too much money and you don't get any satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Everything happens in the breeding. That's what happened with us. And got one to the races. Oh, another one was pretty good, but broke his shoulder in a training accident. It's not worth it. So I give that away, and give the missus away then, at the farm. And what did I do then? Went working in spare parts. Finished up in spare parts in Repco. Had a Johnny Wilson Motors, which was Mitsubishi them days.
Yeah.
He wasn't bad. Had a lot of fun with Johnny Wilson. He was a villain. Can't talk anything about Johnny Wilson. I might get into trouble. Oh shit. So then went to Repco and finished my days in Repco and retired from there. And that's me now. It's finished.
That's that part of it.
88-year-old.
So when did you retire?
In 95. When I was 65, I couldn't get out of the joint quick enough. Although Repco wasn't bad.
Yeah.
They had a name for it, rip every poor customer off, but they didn't used to say customer, they used to say another word for that. But oh, that was funny. Yeah.
I'm going to take. So, we've talked about. You're a Collingwood supporter.
Oh yeah, oh hell yeah. Whew. When I was in IPS out South Kensington, now what was his name? Franklin was his last name. He was the opening bat. His memory's coming good. Opening bat for the Footscray RSL.
Yeah.
And this weekend, this Friday, he said, go on to a place on the weekend, I'll pick you up. He knew where I lived. He picked me up. We went down to the Melbourne and Metropolitan Board of Works. And this is where they make the toilets.
Yeah.
And they said, I'll introduce you to this bloke. Oh, I looked at this bloke and I thought, Jesus Christ, you're ugly. Oh, shit, who the hell was it? See, I forget my memory. But, Lou Richards.
Yeah.
And I'd had a bit of an experience in my earlier days with, as I said, Vin Dyer, but Jack Dyer had one when I was in the post office. There was a girl there at one eye, and I was tracking her for a while, and we were both on the same run, and Dyer had a lolly shop in that halfway up Church Street,
Yeah.
which is like that. So pushed their PMG push bikes were double framed. No way known you could ride uphill with them things. But by the shit, you could go fast down it. And they had an easy coaster back brake, which was pretty good. So, it was big-hearted me, you know. We're leading our bikes up Church Street, and I said, hang on, I said, get something in Jack Dyer's. So I went in, I think it wouldn't have been 2 bob, might have been a bob. 2 bob would have been too much, come to think of it. Chocolates. And of course, them days they had all in jars.
Yep.
So he weighed them out. He pulled one out and cut it in half and put it on. Oh, you bloody mongrel. So I never went back there after that to him. But I had watched him earlier in the days, Saturday afternoon down Punt Road, because Saturday afternoon was a good run to get on when you're on the post office.
Yep.
Very little to do.
Yep.
And if you got a few runs down Punt Road to what they call the Riverside Inn,
Yep.
where there was usually a wedding, so you get a few telegrams for that.
Yep.
And you get a drink and maybe 2 bob sly. So on the way back, you could call into the Punt Road, they had the little ticker box and that.
Yep.
And the blokes would be there and they'd let you, because you sometimes have to take telegrams there
Yep.
anyway, let you get up on the top and watch the footy, what's going on for a while, and they give you 10 minutes, hey, come on, off you get. So I used to watch all that. Oh, Jesus, Captain Blood was rough, I'll say that. Oh, Christ. Some of the other blokes were rough too. Oh, shit, yeah. But Doreen never went with a footballer, come to think of it. Early days, she went with this bloke, and he was a singer. And out at Luna Park, you could make yourself a record. So he made a record out there, and I used to have that in the back room, and we used to play it quite often. When the rain tumbles down in July, bloke called Slim Dusty.
Yeah.
But he wasn't called Slim Dusty then. Can't think of his bloke. Gordon Kirkbride. Gordon something. But he didn't last long with her. Oh, Jesus, she used to have some blokes. Oh, she was a character. Laughed, Lorraine. She finished up in Bendigo, but she had a tumour on the eye.
Yeah.
And no, it's not a tumour, it's a thing they dig out of your arms and that from the sun. She spent most of her life in the sunlight.
Yep.
Anyway, it had gone into her brain.
Oh.
They took her eye out and they put
Yeah.
a false eye in. It used to look funny. Of course, you got one eye that looks funny. People used to like a drop of grog. People used to look at her. Oh, Jesus, never forget her. In the pub, I think it was out at the. Oh, anyway, doesn't matter which pub it was. This bloke had kept looking at her and looking at her. She said, I'm going to the toilet. Jack, some other bloke. That was the bloke she was with at the time, which she finished up for years with him. She said, I'm going to the toilet, Jack. She said, right. She said, that bloody bloke keeps looking at me. He says, she had half a glass of beer, and so she goes, drop the eye, and she said, looked straight at him with the other eye, and she said, now keep an eye on me glass, will you? The bloke nearly shit himself. Oh, Jesus, yeah. Well, that reminds me of what Jack done too. Jeez, that's funny. Don't know whether you want to hear this. Yeah, it wasn't, not bad. He was in the Majestic, I think it was, in the street theatre. It used to be the Majestic and the State there. And there was a murder thing on where the woman gets throttled. Jack, I didn't see it, Norma was the one that was with him. Jack was half pissed. Oh, Jesus. So this bloke in front of the next seat, he's watching it. And this girl's coming closer to this curtain. Jack takes the top. And Norma's thinking, what the bloody hell's he going to do here? And just as the bloke whips it over the Sheila, he whips it over the bloke in front of him, and the bloke fainted, let out a horrible scream. So they had to get out of the scene. Geez, yeah, that reminds me of another time. I had a real race for our life out of the theatre in Richmond. There were some bad buggers used to live in Richmond in them days.
Yeah.
And Bull Eddie was one of the rough ones in them days. But he was also in the army. We were in the matinee pictures, Saturday afternoon. And it's town hall's there, theatre, police station and the post office. This bloke yelled out, hey Bull! This bloke Bull Eddie stood up, yeah, and bang, down he went. Jesus, you reckon we didn't make move? Tracks out of there. You reckon the coppers didn't come in there too? Jeez. Yeah, he only got whipped in the shoulder, I think, something like that. God knows what happened to him. He probably got shot in the early days, I don't know. Oh, Christ. Oh, they were good days, those.
Tell me about your tattoos.
Oh, no. I told you about Ethan getting tattoos.
Yeah.
And that's it. Used to get a few tattoos. So I had 21 tattoos all told. But they're all fading now and gone, they're old. And the kids get this one. The rabbit, the dog chasing the rabbit. And they look at it, yeah. Where's the dog chasing the rabbit? There's the dog chasing the bloody rabbit.
What is that?
But I got 21. I only showed 20. Don't
Yep.
show the other one. I used to show it to my missus, yeah, but although I got conned into it once in motorbike racing. We used to have a good day out at St Arnaud racing, and then you'd have a grog session on the after it was all over. You'd have your bike all loaded and everything like that. And one of the publicans up there was a real motorbike enthusiast. He'd bring down a 9 and you'd all have a sip of it. I got pretty well sconed. Never used to drive them days. There was another bloke used to run me around. And I showed it then. Oh, God. They were funny days. But we used to go with a couple of mates. They used to get tattoos and all that. But Dickie Reynolds, he finished up in Bendigo, but he died in Bendigo.
Yeah.
Dickie. He was a beautiful graph artist. So that's me tattoos. That's
All right.
how you get.
Alright. Hang on, I'm just going to pause this for a minute. That's recording. Alright, so tattoos. Grandparents. I've mentioned grandparents here.
Yeah, I can only remember one.
Yep.
Grandfather. And I remember, the only thing I remember about him was Echuca and the junction of the Campaspe and the Murray. And he used to be a commercial, I suppose it was a commercial fisherman that he was doing on the side. And I went out there a couple of times when I was younger, because he'd have cross lines.
Yep.
And set lines and crayfish pots, and I don't think you would ever see that again, because the junction of those in them days, because there's no weirs them days, was half a mile, 3/4 of a mile wide.
Yep.
Probably further than that. And you used to row a boat. No such things as outboard motors them days.
Yep.
I remember that, that's about it. And I'll get a vague, as I said, a vague recollection of sitting on my old man's shoulders going across the river.
Yeah.
I used to go across the river in my early days, swimming and that. Them days, of course, the river was all big logs where they used to put them there for when they wanted them in the sawmills.
Yep.
They used to stay there. You don't see any of that nowadays.
No.
And under the weir, when we were schoolblokes, we used to go under the weir, because that used to be, the river would be halfway up the, under the wharf, I should say, not the weir, the wharf.
Yep.
And we'd have 3 push bike rims, wire netting around them,
Yeah.
and a few sticks across them to keep them, to get the crayfish, and used to get great big blue ones. Never ever see a blue one nowadays.
No.
But we used to go up the river and with the bloke who taught me to race horses. We were doing that illegally, different places. Oh, we used to get some great crayfish, it was great, but we used to get some fish too, but that was illegal where we get the fish.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to be in there. They were good fish, catfish were beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it used to be freezing. And we had some funs in them bloody days too. Things that stick in your mind, you know, like,
Yeah.
like me, I'd go out in the river, no worries whatsoever, because I can swim.
Yep.
I learnt to swim in the river. You know, I mean, the majority of swimming in the river is only breaststroke anyway.
Mhm.
That's what we used to do. And we used to take my boat, that flat bottom boat, which is the best boat. At this time we went up in this bloke's brother's prow boat. When you go to one of those to pull the net in, the boat goes like that, whereas the flat bottom doesn't.
Yep.
Out in the middle of the Murray, not the middle of winter, well, roughly, pardon me, middle of winter, got illegal nets because they weren't the right ones.
Yeah.
And they were pretty heavy to pull up. And we used to have string, the red binder twine, tied underneath the water. And so we'd have fluorescent tape.
Yep.
If you had voltage sides, stick it on the limb or whatever, because when you shine the light, it's show up and I do this one, go and get it.
Yep.
And pull them up and the bloody thing's dipping underwater, because they were stuck sometimes. And Sam was this bloke's name. Won't tell you the other name because you might know the family. So by the time we get back, there's a fair bit of water in the boat. We've got a few crayfish too. So I said to Sam, geez, we're catching bloody water there, Sam. I thought I might have to swim aside. And he says, wouldn't have to, thank Christ. He said, because I can't swim. Oh, shit. Oh, Jesus, that was funny. Yeah. Oh, God. Used to raise a few doubts.
You said you haven't travelled anywhere. The girls have put down here travel.
As I said, I've been on the Gan up there,
Yeah.
and I've been in Western Australia
Yep.
on the Nullarbor Plains when it was 1949,
Yep.
and it was corrugations. The old Dodge, but we couldn't drive at night time. Oh, shit. You know where Lake Victoria is?
No.
South Australia, I think. Anyway, when we left, he said he wanted to go through this to Lake Victoria. And we went to Renmark. Or was it Mildura? Renmark, I think it was. He said, we'll go and have a look at Renmark and then Lake Victoria and we'll come back to Mildura. Yeah, right, on the way. So we get to this place and there's a bridge across this creek. He said, geez, he said, we won't get across there. He said, he walked over it. He said, no way. He said, the Dodge will go through. We'd have to go around. So we went around. 3 bloody days it took us to go around. Because the old Dodge had a starter motor generator.
Yep.
And that thing packed up. So after that was the old Armstrong. Vroom, vroom, starter up. But no lights. So that kept us going all day then. But nothing at night. That's why it took us so bloody long to get there. So, of course, where was the main thing? We struck, Horrocks Pass was one of the worst ones, that's right. Horrocks Pass is pretty steep and all that, because old Dodge only had back brakes, two-wheel brake brakes. And we got a trailer behind us with a ton of gear in it and all that, and petrol and power kerosene, because the old Dodge ran on half and half. We slept in the Dodge, and had to beware of spoon drains. What the bloody hell's a spoon drain? Spoon drains a drain like that, so the water runs away.
Yep.
We hit the first one, woof, the old Dodge lives in shit. And the crash gearbox. He finally got it back in the second cog, slowed it down a bit, and halfway down Horrocks Pass, a bit of a flat spot. So we pulled up there. He said, geez, he said, we should be able to see Port Augusta, I think it was. No, Port Augusta, where we'll climb up the hill. I said, right, so we climbed up the hill, and all we could see was another bloody big hill. Oh, shit, that was funny, remember that. And we were stuck there for a day, of course, because it takes a long time to do all them things.
Yeah.
And then it gets dark. So you just boil up the billy, make yourself that and a cuppa and cook a few, whatever you got. So that's what we used to do across the Nullarbor. And I can experience one experience, which I suppose I was a city slicker actually.
Yeah.
We used to pull into these places where they had covers like that in a big concrete tank, which was water for you. So they had these things on the side of the road. I've been looking at them all the time as we're going along. And what the bloody hell are they? So get over to one of them when we're not far from one of these tanks, as they call them. No, I can't see nothing. Bugger all. Later found out that it's a pretty big dingo trap.
Oh.
And if I'd have hit, it would have smashed my arm, you know.
Yep.
Probably would have taken it off. Oh, shit. Laugh. Oh, that was funny. We made a few abos there.
Yep.
That was funny. But, so, I don't know, we met some abos on the mine we had there at Norseman. Higginsville, I should say. They just come through the bush.
Yep.
Wearing nothing but a smile. The women were wearing a hell of a lot of flies.
Yep.
I'll say that about them. But nothing wrong with them, anything like that. They weren't thieves or anything like that. Blokes liked a cigarette though, that was all.
Yep.
That was done. But if you pulled up along the Nullarbor them days, and well, Billy, and if a car come along, and I don't think there was many cars that did come along, they'd stop. Nobody go past you, and they'd have a cup of tea and all that, blah blah blah. But what we used to do was, old Dodge. You know much about Dodges, isn't it?
No.
They got a vacuum tank.
Yep.
That don't have a petrol pump. It's a vacuum tank. Sucks the petrol up.
Yep.
And it holds about, I suppose, point and a half. So we used to say, right, It's getting dark, we'll have to camp. Yeah, right, Open the door, step out in the running board. Still going, you know. Lift the bonnet, turn the vacuum tank off. And then finally she might go another 10 miles sometimes.
Yeah.
And depending how good the conditions were. So she'd give a cough and that, and he'd wheel off the side. Yeah, we camped for the night. The next morning, you'd put half a pint of petrol in the vacuum tank. Boom, away you go. You'd be cruising up to about, flat strap was about 30 mile an hour at the most. She'd start to give a cough, right, turn the vacuum tank on, and she'd suck the half petrol, half power kerosene we had in the tank. It was funny.
It's unreal.
It wasn't too bloody nice coming back on the motorbike, though. It was rough. Oh, Jesus. But I still got pictures of the old motorbike. I chased horses on the motorbike when we were running horses in different places.
Yep.
Oh, jeez, it was funny.
So when was it that you met the special girl? Like you...
You've got to be... Depends what you call it, which one you call a special girl.
You have a few.
Yes. Well, the one who's still married to me, this will kill you, I was best man at her wedding. Oh, that was funny, wasn't it? And then, when I come from the bush down to Bendigo, I know her parents quite well and all that, plus her brother and all that. When I come to Bendigo, I got a job, her brother gave me a job, delivering beer to the pubs. Beautiful job, gorgeous job. Because I had a truck driver's licence. And so she said that Billy is over in, where was Billy then? You got great friends with him, you know, he used to race motorbikes with him. And she wanted a divorce because Billy and this other place had 4 kids. So I used to run her over there and time. And we just got together.
Yep.
So, big elaborate wedding in the registry office. I don't know whether it was 1995 or 1495.
Yeah.
Mother and father were there and that was it.
Yep.
We'd been living together for a fair while though.
Yep.
And Lorraine would have been, would she be 2? So she used to come around on the motorbikes, mainly the road racing bikes them days. Although I did have the sidecar, crashed the sidecar in the finish, that put me out of business. Yeah. It never ever fell off road racing, thank Christ. I had a couple of good bikes used to go, just a couple of them up there. The little one was the third fastest 125 in Australia at the time. Could do 105 downhill.
Yeah.
That was down Conrad Strait.
Yep.
I wasn't on it, but that was the bloke that before I boarded off him. That was an experience. Full bin streamlining, which doesn't give you much room to turn.
Yeah.
Twin cylinder, 2 open reverse cone motor exhaust pipes. Started up, go for a run, had to try and turn it round and come back, keep it revving, in High Street, Preston. Trams and everything. It didn't seem to matter a thing to them because the motorbike shop apparently was a par for the course for them blokes to do all that.
Yep.
That could go, it was good, wasn't it? But so that was that, and then she decided we had the farm out there. We had a house with a horse in it. People went a bit crook about that. Big horse in the backyard. Council went crook, but 2 doors just down the back, there was kids with horses.
Oh,
but because we had a big horse, and he was a big horse, he was, 17 hands high, he was a whopper. You know, you ever heard of Curly Orwin?
No.
He's a trot and driver, one of the best that was in Bendigo.
Yeah.
Curly used to trot his horses around the show, well, it's the showgrounds now. It still is the showgrounds out there. And I had to take this big thing out there and do a few laps around it.
Yep.
To start to get him back into condition with a hurdler.
Yep.
This particular day, well, he was a big, strong thing, this thing. But mild-mannered, you know.
Yeah.
And he started to go hard, and I thought, what the hell's the bloody noise? Because I still work delivering beer.
Yep.
And I have a look over my shoulder, and Curly Owen's behind in a trotter. Go, Bobby, go, Bobby! You bastard, you know. Oh, that was funny, though. So then we shifted to another place out at Huntley, and Lorraine went to school there. And while we firstly decided we'd get out of there ourselves because the horses we didn't like it in front of school.
Yep.
And so we rented one off Ernie Monty again. We'd already rented that one off him before. While we built our own place out on the Whipstick, well, not the Whipstick, it's out Wallenjoe Road and Wards Road. So we built that there, and we lived there for quite a few years, the horses and that. And then she decided that, where was I working then? John Wilson's. Because the horses were firstly, you weren't making any money. When you did make money, you had to spend the bloody thing. And those things started to get dear then on horses.
Yep.
They started to do a lot of things. It was mainly through, what's his name? In Iran, actually. He was buying race horses there. And then he got overthrown by the people in Iran had a Ayatollah Khomeini. He took them over and so killed all the horses.
Yep.
Didn't have anything like that. Then things started to get expensive then, after that, on horses. So, yeah, where was Sam was going. I don't know whether you know that that's my nickname for her, Sam.
Sam?
Yeah.
Lorraine? Yep.
That was her grandfather's nickname to her. And it's a joke with something to do with, used to talk about the rams. He made up that joke about the rams going through at night time, and he said, "Oh, there you go, ma'am. Oops, how are you? Oops, sorry, Sam." And she took it up as a little kid.
Yep.
She used to say it. So she's never been nicknamed Sam. So when she had Samara, she said, "Samara, she's I'm going to have a Sam of my own." She said, that was that. Yeah, that was good. So, but she was pretty good at school. She was the best one there at Huntley. And she was also the biggest. She was fairly tall for her age, Sam. We had been a lot of places with her before that, all that. On the motorbikes, that mainly. Yeah. And had relations over in Adelaide. We went there a couple of times. They were a bit, they were in Parliament, so shards, they were up a bit above us at the time, you know, type of thing. Mm. But, no, great experience, Sam. So, then I was working, as I said, in Wilson's. Still out on the farm, so to speak. It's only 5.5 acres.
Yep.
And then she just said one day, Mother was there, that she was seeing this other bloke. That was it. It sort of knocked Sam over a little bit. Anyway, knocked me over too, as far as I go. Mm. So, in the finish, I had to sell up. That's Wilson told me I was moping about too much on these spare parts and all those running spare parts. Yeah. And I said he was a character, was Willie Wilson. Mm. He used to go overseas, but there was other used car blokes. Oh, Jesus, some of those were dodgy. Yeah. But at the same time, they were characters. Mm. And the things they used to do, I remember one Christmas, they took over the what was it then? It's up the top of Mitchell Street, skating rink, yep. Roller skating. took the whole lot over and run a Christmas party there. Oh, Jesus, they were funny. Things, oh, good. Things I used to do. Things I, oh, shit. There were some funny ones there. Flicker Flynn. Well, Flicker blew his brains out down White Hills there. Flicker had AIDS. He contracted over in bloody America apparently, and he was bringing the Sheila out to marry.
Yeah.
Then he found out she had AIDS, and he must have found out he had AIDS, and he blew his brains out. And he's a nice bloke, Flicker, but ruthless and spare on used cars and all that. The whole lot of them were.
Yep.
But it used to be comical because there would be one on each corner, and then they buggered that because Ronnie Pauser bought one corner. Him and Jeff Hoare.
Yep.
Yeah. Wilson had the welder. I don't know who was on the other side, I forget his name. He'd borrow the welder. And then over on the other corner, he'd borrow the welder. And this welder used to go around the block. Oh, you'd always see somebody going across there dragging this bloody welder, fearless welder. Geez, it was funny. But the things they used to do, and Poyser was renowned, or through the places like the car mobs, that Jeff Hoare would do a deal with the bloke. You're paying 6,800 and that's it, bang. That's it, walk away.
Yep.
And then Ronnie Poyser would come up, what's going on, what's going on? Bloke would tell me, look, he says, we'll knock 500 off it, or 400 off it, and sell it. It was the power of the bastards were doing this, you know. But we had some funny blokes in here in the down in the garage part. The new bloke in. So they sent him across to Poyser's, and he said, you can't just run across the road, you've got to go through the lights. Because no way, no, that's against the law, blah, blah, blah. So when he'd go to get the populating tool, Poyser's, blokes who got over at Poyser's, they'd ring him up and tell him there's blokes coming over for the populating tool. And he goes, you know what a populating tool is?
No, I don't actually. Oh.
They go, no, oh shit, no, we haven't got it. What's his name's got it? Of course, on the corner. So we have to go across the lights. It's populating. Hey, no, or, it's because those blokes are in the joke all the time. And
Yeah.
then they'd send him over to this other one. And then they'd say, no, Johnny Wilson's already got it. Go back and ask him about, has he got the populating tool? So then they come across to Wilson. Mr. Wilson, they told me that you've got the populating tool. And he said, of course I got the fucking populating tool yourself. How do you think I got my kids? Oh! They were screaming, them blokes, I tell you. Oh, yeah. So he talked me into, he'd been on a trip, and he taught me, this woman who he'd met on the trip was a dancer. I said, I can't dance for nuts. And she took me to these, learn to dance, ballroom dancing, you know. And she had a friend, and I knocked around with this Sheila for a little bit, not for long, because I wasn't her type and she wasn't my type as far as that goes. She was, for a start, she was a bloody good dancer and I wasn't, you know. But her friend was virtually on the same par with me.
Yep.
And so I was going to one of my friends who I'd been his best man in the early days, my motorbike days, because the bloke I used to run around with, this bloke married his sister, and I had to go to one of his kids' weddings, so I asked this girl if she'd come with me to the wedding. Yeah, okay. So we've been together ever since. And we have been overseas.
Yep.
Yeah. Tasmania.
Oh.
But apart from that, she'd been overseas. She'd been over there with her sister and that in different places. Yeah, but I haven't. You gotta like what you do for a start. And if you think it's all right, and your partner thinks it's all right, well then you just go for it, and that's all there is to it. And the grandkids are fantastic, I tell you. Because Lorraine's brought them up. We quite often say this, you're looking at the telly when some of these kids are gone wrong, and I say, well, none of them grandkids have ever done anything like that, and they never will, apparently, because they've been brought up and it's starting to show in their little kids.
Yep.
Yeah, it's terrific. I love it.
Yep.
They've got 5 great grandkids and 2 more on the way. With a bit of luck, I might have a couple more before I kick the bucket.
Yeah.
But they're great, fantastic. And Lorraine and Shane, well, Shane, I remember Shane, Sam would never go with anybody else. The jockeys used to come around trying to, no, she wasn't interested. Then she met Shane, and that was it. Never had anybody else, never virtually wanted anybody else.
Yeah.
And the pair of them together have been fantastic. Shane especially is terrific.
Yeah.
And can't go against a lot of them. They're all fantastic. Got some great pictures of them, got some great video of them, which I've done a video for each one of them.
Yeah.
A DVD. Whether they still look at it, I don't know. That's, no, that's about it.
That's awesome. That's
My name is Robert McLaughlin. Date of birth is the 8th of the 10th, 1930.